Hello, I'm Alexis Chevallot. I grew up in France. Then after quickly wanted to travel around the world. For a few years I've traveled and studied in China, in US, Boston, in US in Los Angeles. Then after went for Ireland, worked then in Luxembourg, and then after went actually working in London. Why I'm saying all of this is because actually people are often surprised when we talk about our life and being in Bansko, where we come from so different places, maybe big cities like all the cities I gave before, and yet why Bansko? And actually like Bansko has a mix of those big cities with big things happening, technologies being enabled, like fast internet, as I always like speak about when I go abroad, and at the same time like being connected with those cities, those big cities, on this same culture. Like I discovered first Bansko like 5 years ago. You can be in the place you want, and places like Bansko are like by nature like beautiful, mountains around, 10 minutes from the forest, and at the same time, which is very unique, and what made us chose Bansko at first was the community. So yeah, there's a lot of like foreigners from everywhere in the world. That's really something that, as I left France like 15 years ago, my goal was to travel and discover new cultures, etc. Actually, the story behind this is also that at first we came the first time, we stayed a few months, and I left saying that I would never come back. Then we came back 6 months later for different reasons, because it was summer, very hot elsewhere in Bulgaria, and we are based in Bulgaria still. And then when we came back, it was actually when we discovered Nestwork, with such a different vibe on ambience, much more entrepreneurial, with much more ambition. And even from the founders, actually, like at the time when we came the first time, it was a small office, but they had like big plans to grow it. So actually today, when we are recording this video, we are in a fancy, huge building, which is super cool, because it welcomes much more people and much more ambitious people. And that's what I'm trying to surround myself with. And so that's kind of like the success for me of Nestwork and of Bansko, is that despite being in a village, in the middle of nature, which is like in terms of quality of life is amazing, you get to still be surrounded with the same people, with visions that you would find in Paris, London, Berlin, New York, etc. I'm leading Capto, which is an automation company doing AI agents for businesses across Europe. We founded Capto now 4 years ago, I think. We started doing automation, which was pretty much like hard-coded automation, process automation, without any AI. And it's been a year now that we have switched or pivoted to AI agents. Why? Because one of the main parts of AI agents is actually the process analysis. It's not regarded by many people doing AI agents. And for us doing automation for big businesses, that's one thing we detected, is that there was a need, and there is a big need on transformation coming from AI agents and agentic automations. But one of the things that's like people need to understand is like the importance of the process, where AI should not be involved or shouldn't be create things on the fly, because those big businesses don't want any mistake, don't want like a 0.01 error. And so that part needs a big expertise in process automation, which we have. And then after adding to that the AI part that we are constantly learning, on onboarding on a daily basis, this gives something that to the client that we have a big advantage, and it's a big chance to actually be in Bulgaria, because Bulgarian businesses are much faster to take decisions on onboard technologies like this, and we have had the chance to actually have partnerships with big businesses where we had basically all rights to develop AI agents without limits. And now, after a year of doing so, we know a really big growth, which I didn't expect, or I was expecting like since a long time. Being in Nestwork helps a lot on that part, because it started 6 months ago when things really kicked off, and we needed like more people. And like Nestwork has like such a big network locally that we were able for the first time to hire and build a team in Bulgaria and in the Bansko area with people that grew up here. So it's super cool because there is this kind of like exchange with the local economy and with the locals. One of our first hire was Lubo, who was introduced from Nestwork, and who was surprised actually when he came in Nestwork the first time, like, what are those foreigners doing here? How big businesses, like big ideas were being made here. Like you have businesses like Spicy that are doing system engineering for companies worldwide. You have companies that are doing things, for example, property management in Iceland, and like consulting in Germany. You have like a lot of different examples. And for Capto and Lubo, when he joined us, was very impressed of like the business case that we had in AI, doing things with Bulgarian companies, and how advanced are some of the Bulgarian businesses in terms of technology, and also like what we are doing in Western Europe. To be fair, we were starting with Western European businesses, and 2 years after our arrival in Bansko, that's when we started to meet people around Bulgaria. And when we started to really work with Bulgarian businesses, and it was a very positive surprise. And I think the growth that we have today is due to this relationship, because locally you build much stronger relationships, which enable businesses to trust you much more, doing so much bolder decisions. And when you are innovation, it really helps, because at the beginning you really need a big trust aspect. That's mainly why Bansko from beginning to end.